An incarcerated individual at New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. An incarcerated individual's use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies. To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse the... Preventing suicide is important. If you have concerns during this call, please contact the individual's facility to communicate with them. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Reentry Building Tables / Pedigree. This is me and my son. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I ask that you like, subscribe to my YouTube channel as we dive in to being incarcerated, to being out of incarceration, the struggles that we go through as being a mom and having a loved one, a son, incarcerated, and him living the time has switched. Let me say it's switched. I was incarcerated and he was out. He's incarcerated, and then we both was incarcerated together, and then I'm out and he's in, and then so on and so on. You get what I'm saying? But we have him here. They call him loyalty. So I just want to ask a couple of questions. Do you want to tell him how long you've been inside, loyalty, and the age you went in?
I'm not saying, I know we probably covered this in a previous episode, but I still say I got 20 years in prison. Been in New York State correctional institutions. I'm still here now, but I'm on my way out the door.
That is so good. I'm telling you. Because anybody that I'm burped. Anybody that that's been incarcerated, even if you've been in a physical prison, even if you have not been inside of a prison and just living in a prison in your home or living in a prison in an addiction, that's not a good thing. Nowhere. And we have really, I've been home for some years now, so we really have been battling. Me as a mom, never want to see my sons touch inside of a prison, but unfortunately it happened. But I know what goes on in prison, so it's really it's heartbreaking to even know that your child is in there, and the things that he have to endure on a daily basis, where you have the officers that don't care, the medical that doesn't really, they don't even care about you. They just do the bare minimum. I have seen people die while I was incarcerated, but far as with my son, with the loyalty, that's the name that the street gave him. I gave him Lakim, so that's what I'm going to dress him as, But what are some of the? So let me ask you this: have you been programming while you were in there?
Yeah, I've been programming. I've got a lot of programs accomplished. At this point right now, though, I've acquired like this paranoia. I've acquired this paranoia because I'm in a very sweet spot. And I don't want to get in no trouble, and at times I'll be like prone for self-sabotage and all that. So it's like I need to not mess up my situation, and in that sense, I'm just like doing everything very gingerly. It's not really my style to like walk on eggshells, but this is what I need to do in order to get out. This is the hardest time that I've ever done. This is the hardest time I've ever done right here. This little bit. This little bit right here. But yeah, I program. I got my GED while I was incarcerated. I got vocational trade skills, satisfied that. I got a college degree from Bar College. Shout out to BPI, Bar Prison in Michigan. I also was involved in like theater, performing arts spaces, and stuff like that. When there was an opportunity for me to apply myself, I took the opportunity to apply myself. They doing a list right now too, so somebody probably gonna come by the door, knock on the door, and ask me if I want to go to child. But like I said, I'm not trying to get into no issues, so I don't travel around. I need to get home. I need to be able to make it bitter to you and be able to play the ball as your firstborn son, as the man of the house. So that's the most important thing right now. Okay. Yes, good man. No child, please. Thank you.
So, let me ask you a question. So I know you don't see because you're not moving around or anything, but what can you tell the young guys? I know you tell me they coming in, they're so young, and they don't know what to do, what to expect, because this is a whole different world. This is nothing like the streets. I mean, this is, it's bad. But what would you tell the young guys or young women, someone that's coming in or out there? Let me just say that's out there, that's doing wrong, that's thinking, everything is just a joke, or I'm riding for my crew or whatever. What message would you give them right now?
I didn't pick the name loyalty. That name was given to me because of characteristics that I displayed. And even though I got loyal characteristics, I was still betrayed by, my guys, my team, whatever you want to call it. When I got incarcerated, I was young, and I didn't have support. My mother was incarcerated, so what happens is I had to wait until the young people got old enough to be able to help me while I was in here. Prison is not the street. You out there, you running around, you playing with guns. It's like a great equalizer. In prison, is hand-to-hand combat. They not playing with us. They giving us time in the street, and then when we come in prison, they giving us new charges. I'm right now doing time with a new charge. I would just really go full disclosure on this situation because it's like we talking to the youth in a sense, and at the same time, we gotta be real and authentic here. So they got mandatory minimum for crime that I don't think they work. So you get incarcerated for murder in the second degree. That's criminal procedure law 125/2025. That's intentional murder. That's a minimum of 15 years to life with a maximum of 25 years of life, you really can't quantify rehabilitation like that. So what do I mean? I'm saying I got sentenced to 15 years to life, but because I violated the plea agreement with the judge, he gave me 5 more years. That put me at 20 years to life. And then in 2009, I got a new charge for promoting prison contraband. They gave me a 1.5 to 3 years. It took me 10 years to tell you about that, Mom. So what originally was supposed to be 15 years to life turned into 21.5 years to life, and I didn't hurt anyone for that extra 6.5 years. During my time, and this is the best advice, is just to me tell you my story real quick. During my time incarcerated, I went from not understanding anything really, got locked up, caught my case at 17, came in at 18. I was up north in Comstock, Great Meadow Correctional Facility in 2007. I was 19 years old in that yard. I got my GED in that jail. Then I went to the box. I got out the box. And they put me in Clinton. I'm in Clinton. I'm in reception, low F, waiting to be put in the population. And they said, hey, yo, Mills, pack up. I said, pack up. Pack up what? You're going to court. Court. So, you know, you talking about some old stuff. Like, what's going on here? I don't know nothing about this court stuff you're talking about, man. And I said, where am I court? They said, Washington County. I said, Washington County? I don't even know where that's at. I get there, it's Comstock. You know, they charging me. They giving me outside charge. I'm in the courthouse in the town for that jail. They pursued me for some prison stuff. They give me the 1.5 to 3. I copped out immediately. Yo, listen, just give me the time. So then they give me a whole surcharge, $300-some they add on my joint. And then they put me on a bus and they send me back to Clinton. So I'm in Clinton, I'm over there, I'm working in the mess hall, I'm doing what I'm doing or whatever the case may be, but it's nothing really major. Just trying to stay out the way and television. But there's no opportunities in the jail, like I'm on the way about Denimora. This is Denimora. We got Plattsburgh and all that. They don't got no people coming in doing no programs in that jail whatsoever. You get in jails close by the city and all that, you get those left-wing people and all of that. They with you. They want to come in. They want to help people and all of that. Because in their minds, they're saying, listen, these dudes are sitting in cells all day for years, and then you're gonna let them out. The dude might be in my house.
But what I'm asking.
I gotta tell you this.
Go ahead.
I gotta tell you this story.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you this story because it's not for you. You ask me what I say to these kids coming in.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta hear this.
Mm-hmm.
So then what happened? I ended up leaving Clinton. I go to Clinton Annex. I stayed there for 6 months. They moved me. They sent me to Green Haven. I'm in Green Haven, Mom. And you were in Tallahassee. So I'm getting letters from you now, and you're telling me about this acting stuff that you're doing with your Christian sisters and all that in jail. So I said, yo, let me try to see if I can do something, man. Try to make my mom proud of me or whatever, because, I be messing up. I done did some things in my life. So I signed up for this program called Rehabilitation Through the Arts, RTA. And I got in there and I did well. And what I realized was that when I had an opportunity to volunteer to do something other than be a prisoner in prison, I jumped on that opportunity. I volunteered for that opportunity. when you get locked up, as soon as they put the cuffs on you, you're supposed to be starting planning for your reentry. You don't plan for reentry 2 years before you come home. 5 years before you come home. As soon as you get the cuffs on you, you need to be thinking about how you're going to move when they come off. So what happened? I do well in Green Haven. I do so well there in that program and received so much inspiration that I signed up for college and was accepted and got made it in. And I switched jails and I got moved to a way better jail with less programs though, but also less violence. And while in that jail, one of the worst things that happened. I started using drugs. This is the biggest mistake I ever made in prison. When you get locked up, when I came to prison, the older dudes tell me, listen, certain things you stay away from, you'll be alright. What's that? Stay away from gangs. Stay away from homosexuals. Stay away from gambling. Stay away from drug use. I just gave you 4 things to stay away from in prison. New York State Prison. If you want to do your time cleanly and make it out. So I started using drugs, and it was recreational. It was recreational until it wasn't. What does this mean? It means that I was addicted before I knew I was. It was bad. It's bad because I accumulated debt. And then when I accumulated the debt, I didn't have the money to pay it. Stay away from drug use. When you don't got the money to pay in prison, that's a problem. And it could be $3. It don't gotta be $300 or $3,000. So what happens is I find myself needing to find my peace of mind. And what happens is the things that I did in prison, they carried over into the street. They carried over into the street in the form of lies. Because I needed something because I didn't want to be here anymore. So fun fact, I didn't start using until after I already did 15 years in prison, mandatory minimum. And I'm saying to myself, yo, I'm here for what? I did 15 years, I didn't hurt nobody. These people gave me extra time. I was beaten. So I started smoking. And I'm smoking some stuff, I don't even know what it is. But I'm passing out for hours. And then when I wake up, time has gone by. That's beautiful. I wanted to sleep my time away. Yo, you can't sleep your time away in here. You gotta face your reality. You gotta stick with your plans. You gotta make goals and then succeed. guess I don't know. I guess I get a little drawn out on what I'm going to say to you and to those people that could make it. It's unfortunate if you do, but understand, man. This is like a place where you would be like on an island alone or on a little boat in the middle of a great big ocean. Isolation. People who talk to you and smile at you, you feel like they're your friends, they're not your friends. You feel like they're your bros, they're not your bros. Everyone is out for self. And it's bad because when you meet that person who's not out for self, who's genuine, you really can't connect because you're so accustomed to being out for self because of the environment that you're in that you turn him to become out for self. You see, it's infectious. So I'm at a place where it's like this. I apologize to you, Lord, for all the times I put you through things, stressing you out, worried if I'm going to be hurt again, because I'm trying to find a way to cope, and that way, it's not real. It's not coping. As a result of the shit that happened to me, the things that I was doing and putting in my body, people who I love turned their backs on me. They turned their backs on me. They don't answer their phone when I call. They're probably afraid that I'm going to ask for money. I'm sure people still talk about me like a dog, like a junkie. And they don't even know. So my message to the people that come in, that possibly could be coming in, you doing the things that you're doing, stop. I did a lot of the stuff that you're doing already, and you know where I'm at right now in my life? I want to plant fruits and vegetables. I want to grow my own food and be self-sufficient. I'm learning about permaculture and the best way to pull CO2 emissions, greenhouse gases out of the air and pull them down into the soil and store that carbon into the soil where it can feed our plants more nutrients and give us more oxygen. I started slow. I didn't know where I was at. I was lost. I'm the kind of person that gets overstimulated easy. I'll come into contact with large crowds and stuff, like I'll be like stuck a little bit, like I gotta process this, but it's like information overload from my brain is trying to process everything. Time alone with isolation is letting me sit back and think and realize who I am. Who I am in relation to society at large. So being that I understand who I am, I understand where I come from, I understand where I gotta go, and I know what I gotta do. So yeah, I'm know I'm sure you didn't expect me to talk about nothing like this because I really can tell you about this type of stuff. But it's important that I really let you know the truth what's in my mind. I think that was happening with me. Because the truth instills the power away from the finger pointers and the people who whisper behind your back, talk to your friends, and belittle you. The truth, it cuts through all of that. And I'll be home soon. And clean.
And that's a good thing. And first of all, I want to say, no matter what people say about you, people going to talk, but you know that you're not a junkie, okay? And like you say, you're isolated. You're looking. One thing about it, when you take a deep look, when you start looking at you and getting to the root of this thing and beginning to know who you are, that's a different story. You know, I was just telling someone last night about Marquita. I was telling her, you know, I had been in the prison 3 times. I've been in federal prison 3 times. I've been in prison majority of his life. But this last time, I had to sit down and say, hold on, wait a minute. You know, because that's just not me. I don't keep doing the same thing. Once I, you know, do it once and it don't work out, maybe do it but 3 times, no. So I knew it was a problem. So I needed to find out, where is the problem? What is the problem? So when I got to the root of it, and I noticed it was addiction. And my addiction was money. You know, nice things. Very materialistic. You know, so, you know, one of my son, you know, which he was the only one at one time. I have 2. So I had to get them everything they wanted. We needed to live the nice life, da-da-da-da-da, all this, that, and the other. But at the same time, I had to examine myself and peel off these layers. So, you know, what I did, I started reading the Bible. I started saying, okay, who created me? Where did I come from? So how did this extend? You know, I had to just start looking at, who am I? And when I began to see the problems, I seen that addiction. Okay, I knew that I could not come back out and do the same thing again. You know, I knew that I would be doing life. So I'm like, you know what? I need to change my career. You know, and you know, and that's one of the things. You know, I make a joke about it, but I say, you know, the judge told me I was a career offender. You know, people have careers, have benefits. I don't have, the benefit I got was in prison. You know what I'm saying? I got some numbers. You know. You know what I'm saying? I got 8 numbers, baby. That's what that was my benefit. You know. That's it. You know, and I don't get no Medicaid, no 501c and all that. You know. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So when she said that, a crib, baby, do this come with benefits or what? Yeah, it comes with a sale. You know what I mean? So 3 hots and a cot. That's your career, baby. I tell you something, honey. So,
listen, this thing about to hang up.
Okay, son.
I love you, Mom.
I love you too. And this is Reentry Building Tables Pedigree. I hope that you enjoy this as you listen to it. God bless you, and may they keep you and your family.